So just looking at this sterling yen, and if we look at sterling dollar, we've come up and corrected, and we've corrected at a 38.2. Now, the upside risk for sterling yen is that if we break 127.20, 127.70, then we're going to see more upside. This is a impulse correction and a potential continuation, and that would fuel sterling yen higher. However, we've got this M formation, so we've come up, come down, come up, and we're coming up again into the neckline of that. Essentially, this is where the neckline rests, besides the wicks, but on the bodies of those candles. So this here is where is the center of that of those transactions. Essentially, that's really where it was settled on that day. So you anticipate that being a resistance area. So let's see if that does what it's supposed to do and reject this rally that's happening today. And if we look at this week's initial balance, we've got Monday's low. This could be Tuesday's high. And what we might see is a sell-off into the initial balance longs tomorrow. And that would potentially slow up sterling yen, but it depends what's going on with dollar yen. So let's look at dollar yen. But the thesis on cable at the moment for me is a correction into the longs this week. So coming down on let's go on the 4-hour chart, and we can just visualize that coming into potentially into this W formation's neckline. So this is point of interest on the downside if we were to see a correction. Okay, so that's the thesis for now, that we're meeting resistance, and this trend line, this green trend line that I'm drawing, might come under pressure, and we could see a break of that and a move lower. So this sort of thing. Maybe consolidating up top for a bit before the breakout to the downside into longs. So that's my thesis on cable for the meantime, so long as it stays below 127.70. Yeah, and I'm calling 70 because of these closing highs on last Wednesday. So if we look at dollar yen, dollar yen is running away with things, and we've come up into this resistance area. So on the 4-hour chart, I pinpointed this area over here as, so if we, between there and here, as a potential area of resistance. I think that's hitting the sweet spot at the top. Seems to be. So if we pull that across to where so I think we're breaking that now. We've broken that area, shaded in. So we've broken that area, and then beyond that, on the 4-hour chart at least, it seems pretty clear right up until these lows, which could offer, well, let's just mark the entire block. So all of that area could be where we're heading. So a quick move up into there. Now this would go against my current, well, we'll come to it in a second. I was going to talk about the dollar for a moment, but let's just, so if I mark those off as, so those are the resistances. So cleaning up this chart then, let's get rid of all this stuff. So we've broken that this first resistance block, and then between here and here, there doesn't seem to be any. I mean, on the 4-hour chart at least, I'm not going to draw down to lower time frames. The 4-hour chart, it seems to me between here and 145, there's nothing standing in the way for a fast move up to 145.20. So this really then puts the focus on the US dollar. And if we were to see a rally in the dollar, that would play into the bearish cable thesis and the bullish dollar yen. So it kind of leaves the cross a bit sidelined, because you're going to have a strong dollar yen but a weak sterling yen. But considering the volatility on sterling yen, which is pretty high, regardless of a weak cable, which may not have too much room to fall, the dollar yen, on the other hand, could be the driver, and we could quite easily see up here tested 84.25, but I don't think much beyond that if cable continues to be weighed. And then the dollar, actually, I think I've got a chart up here. Yeah. So on this US dollar, this is the weekly chart. We're at support. So it's critical, really. If this support gives out, the support area, then we will see. This one's still recording. Yeah. So if this support area gives out on the US dollar, then we could see sterling dollar take off. And again, that would be bullish for sterling yen. So yeah, I mean, really weighing it all up, sterling yen seems as though it can keep going up, regardless of either outcome. So it's neutral bullish by the looks of things. I mean, just looking at this dollar chart then, so we've got this weak low because we came in and failed to make a continuation on the upside. So this double bottom looks like it's failing. So we've come down, up, lower, high, continuation lower. We're on the backside of this old bearish bullish trend. We are on the front side of this bearish trend. So we moved out of that rally, came in, and we're now sliding to the backside of this old bullish trend. And we're pressured. I want this red for resistance. So we've got that lower high, and essentially that's pointing to further downside, even though that we are, so we've come out of, so this was a bearish trend here, we've paused, we've moved sideways, so we broke the resistance. It's now, so we're on the back side of that old bearish run. essentially we're consolidating in this box. So I mean, if we let's just draw that. So we're in this box. So we're forming this box, but there are prospects considering that lower high of a move lower and a continuation. So this makes the support level critical at the moment. And if we were to zoom into that, I'll go to a different chart. Right. What you'll note is that we've actually got this W formation here. So we've come into the neckline, which is serving as current support. So it really does depend on if we can hold. If we can hold in here, then the thesis is okay. We're forming a box. Could be sideways for a while, heading higher, and looking to test these this potential weak high. Depends. If we can't break these lows, and we start moving up, and the thesis of that is a weak high, and we're coming back up again. Anyway, so as I said in the chat, tricky markets, tricky. We're at critical levels, and there's no real bias, and this is just running away. I think we're just heading up to that resistance and take it from there.